Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Indiana Jones with Adventure Backpack from the Indiana Jones Worlds of Adventure line from Hasbro. So this is very similar to the Mission Fleet line they do for Star Wars. It's just kind of the exact same type of play pattern but with Indiana Jones. So you can see in this set we get Indy with an Adventure Backpack and a few other accessories here. Some nice artwork of Indy here on the front. This is showing you the other two in this size class. We have already seen a look at Indy with Horse. This one will be coming rather soon. And then this is just showing you how you can store most of his accessories in the Adventure Backpack, which is pretty cool. Not really much going on the bottom. Up here, just kind of have the logo again. And then over here on the back, we have the actual size 1-to-1 with all the different accessories that are included, very much the same way that Mission Fleet has this on the back of the packaging. So pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and get everything out of the packaging here, and we'll take a closer look. So here's everything we get in the packaging. Of course, we will start with Indy first. And he looks pretty good. Now, this is the exact same Indiana Jones head we got with all the other figures, but you can see he's not wearing the leather jacket. So he just has the undershirt here. And as a result, because he's got his sleeves about halfway up, he actually doesn't have a swivel at the wrist. He has a swivel here at the forearm, which I think is a first for these figures. Honestly, I don't think I've ever gotten a Mission Fleet figure or one of these Indy figures that didn't just have the basic hand swivel. So that's kind of cool. I could be wrong about that, but it feels new. He does have the same kind of very limited ball joint here in the hip, so you can kick forward. Can't really go back all that far. And just to do a quick comparison, here is the Indiana Jones that came with the motorcycle. So you can see again, the head's exactly the same. I would even say that the legs are exactly the same. It's really just the torso that's different. But it's nice to get something a little different here. I will say, though, I feel like the neck is longer on this one. Maybe the side satchel here is, getting in the way and distracting a little bit. Or maybe it's just the fact that the jacket's a little bit bulkier. But he's got some giraffe neck going on this one. Here is the Indy that came with the horse. And I feel like his neck is even shorter. I mean, it's still a good figure. And I'm happy to see him not look exactly the same. I feel like this is more what he looks like in Temple of Doom. Although I think in Temple of Doom he had completely lost one of his sleeves. But like Temple of Doom, he does come with a sword accessory here. So we can pop this in his hand. He also comes with a whip. Now we've gotten a couple different whip accessories here throughout this line. This one is very similar to the one that came with the horse, but it is still slightly different. You can see the ends there are molded slightly different. The coloring's a little different. So that's kind of crazy to me that they would still have it be slightly different. So far all of these whips have been different, which is actually pretty impressive, I think. I'm going to take these out of his hands. And we will put Indy here off to the side so we can check out some of these other accessories. We have the boulder, obviously very iconic scene from Raiders. It comes in two pieces, so you can kind of just split it apart there. I guess if you wanted, you could store some of the accessories in here if you wanted to. Otherwise, you just kind of have to line it up because you can't kind of just attach it any old way because there is kind of a contour to the boulder. It's not perfectly spherical, so you kind of have to line it up, but then it just clips together and it holds together pretty well, but you can split it apart if you'd like. Just a boulder, it rolls. It does its boulder thing. We have a tiny little Cobra here, which I think is actually really nicely detailed and painted. I think this came out great, and I wanted to just show it off with the other snake accessory we got with the horse set. So now you can have a couple different snakes going here. Hopefully we'll get a play set for the Ark, the room where they actually find the Ark. Then we could use some of these snakes. And then we have a giant spider. This thing is massive. I mean, honestly, in the movie, they're like all over his back This is bigger than his entire back. This is one massive spider. And then we have this like backpack here. So this is actually pretty neat. It can peg onto the back here very simply. It's got little compartments for everything. And I didn't show off these other two accessories. I guess I should do this. This is the little idol from the very beginning of the movie that he tries to get out of that, is it a tomb or cave, we'll just say. But really nicely detailed, nicely painted. And then he's got a little torch accessory which can fit in his hand pretty well. Just pop that in there. And that's a really great accessory. You can use that with any of the figures. But all of these things have little spots on the backpack. So first off, this can open up and just kind of reveal some tiny tools that are molded in there. Obviously, they are not removable. And then this also has a section that can flip down so you can put the idol in here and close that up. There's a little loop right here where you can put the sword in, like so. You can attach the torch like this, although a lit torch this close to your backpack, I probably would not advise, as it would probably just set the entire backpack ablaze. And then you can attach the whip here as well, but I can't guarantee that, due to physics and gravity, that the whip will stay like this the whole time if you have it attached to your backpack like this. But you can put all the accessories there, then you can peg this onto the back, and then this little piece here can actually help him stand, because I assume it's ridiculously back heavy, and if it didn't have that, he would just immediately fall over. So they put this little piece in here. This looks like where you would attach snowshoes or something, but obviously he's going into a jungle. But I think that's cool. I mean, I like that you can attach all of the accessories. I think that works. And you also see this connector here, so if you wanted to bring in... Let me grab the missile launcher from the motorcycle set. You could really have Indy's backpack be packing a wallop here. Now this is making him fairly heavy, so he kind of wants to fall over. But if you wanted to go ahead and attach a giant missile launcher to his backpack, you absolutely can, because that connector port is there. So kind of cool. Makes sense. I mean, he has this kind of like, I'm assuming like a sleeping bag or just a blanket in general here. And instead of just leaving it there, they hollowed it out so that it has those connector ports, which is kind of cool. Might come in handy for something. But overall, I think this is a nice set. I can understand why, maybe it seems like there's not quite enough in this set for what it costs. There's no vehicle, there's no horse, there's no kind of larger piece. But I feel like you really do get a ton of accessories in this set. You have the whip, the sword, the torch, the idol, the backpack, the boulder, the cobra, and the spider. And I feel like that's a lot. And it's a lot of great pieces that you can use with other things, to kind of build out this world. And it's kind of nice to have some sets that aren't just about, here's a character and a vehicle. They're giving us some world building things. I really hope they do some play sets for this line. I feel like there's so many iconic locations in Indiana Jones franchise, and I would love to get some play sets. And honestly, more figures. One thing I never understood about Mission Fleet, they should be doing 2-packs. They should be doing vehicles that come with, 2 or 3 figures. I don't know why it's always just like one figure, one vehicle. They've given us a couple 4-packs, which is nice. But just more, do blind bags, do 2-packs, do 4-packs. Give us more figures, get us more characters. I feel like they should really just be pumping that out. And I hope Indy does the same. Now, Indy doesn't have as many characters, but definitely have a lot of locations, and I think could really, really make for some fun play sets and play features. So fingers crossed something like that will come down the line. But in the meantime, I think this set's pretty fun. I really like the Indy figure. It's definitely the most different figure we've seen, with the last two being almost identical to each other in that leather jacket. It's nice to get one here that, doesn't have the jacket on, so it's pretty different. And the fact that it has those swivels at the forearm instead of the wrist is actually a little bit more structurally sound, in my opinion, because so many times with Mission Fleet, and this line as well, the wrists can get stuck. And it's kind of hard, and then you end up trying to twist them and they snap. But at the forearm, I feel like it's a little bit more structurally sound, doesn't have to be as thin, and so it's working out pretty well. So I like the figure, I like the backpack, I love all the accessories. I'm going to go ahead and give him his little torch, like he's doing some exploring. And I also think it's wild that even though this whip that's included is so very similar to the one that came with the horse set, it's still technically different because that little bit on the end is differently molded. And I think that's kind of nuts. So I think it's a fun set. I've been enjoying this line so far. Fingers crossed we get some more stuff down the line. But let me know what you guys think. I want to hear from you in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.